Hey everybody, so QuickSilver from Cosmos has launched its sovereign blockchain in preparation for liquid staking. But before we get into that, check out this video from Vitalik talking some positive vibes about the Cosmos ecosystem.
I think the Cosmos ecosystem, for example, I deeply respect it because it is one of the few that's actually trying a very different region of design space, and they have this vision of a larger number of blockchains. Each of those blockchains has a smaller number of validators. They use these protocols to talk to each other, and they give up on shared security, but they give up on tight coupling, but they have modularity. And here's their arguments for why this might be a good idea. And I really respect the fact that they have a technical vision. They push a technical vision first. They, in my view, have not been pump and dumpy. They have not done any. They have not bought any stadiums. They have not put the face of their founder up on cylinders all over San Francisco. So that's something I respect.
So Vitalik is reminding us that in Cosmos is bullish about it because there's these independent ecosystems that can reside on their own, and there was no central face, no central body that was being advertised out there, which rings bells to decentralization, which is extremely important. So he mentions other technologies which we could call application chains or app chains. Now we're going to look at a few things that enable things like that. So that level of decentralization is extremely bullish, as the crypto people call it, because it feeds into the frenzy of security, no central control, and reliability of these blockchains, and the ability to scale into different multiple use cases, especially if you're able to leverage a technology in so many multiple ways without restraints of a linear structure. Just like in the map of zones that you're seeing on my screen right now, you can see these independent blockchains on the Cosmos ecosystem that each can serve their own purpose, their own tokens, their own security models, their own whatever use case they want to implement, but at the same time they can share things like security, they can share resources to be able to scale and serve a vast amount of interests. In today's video, we're looking at QuickSilver first. This blockchain wants to do what we call liquid staking. So if I'm to summarize, in proof of stake, you have a blockchain that uses proof of stake consensus algorithm. So simply stated, what that means, you have a bunch of people called validators, you have a bunch of people or computers called delegators. So the delegators have tokens, the validators are running infrastructure to keep the network secure. So these people give or delegate their tokens to the validators that have the infrastructure whilst maintaining control of their tokens, and in doing that the network is kept secure. So the more tokens that are kept within the ecosystem, the more secure the ecosystem is. So what liquid staking does, essentially, it allows you, because your tokens are locked up for 21 days as you're delegating them to a validator, so what liquid staking allows you to do is to be able to mint a version of those tokens while they're still secure on the blockchain and be able to leverage those tokens in DeFi and other use cases that you wanted to do. As you can see in this interview with one of the co-founders of QuickSilver, Roy Motaki, I hope I haven't butchered that name, they go ahead to tell us that for quite some time in Cosmos, staking and DeFi were mutually exclusive. In other words, you had to choose DeFi in a DeFi platform or you stake. You couldn't do both. Hence, they were mutually exclusive, which meant users often had to choose between securing a chain through staking or earn a higher yield through yields in DeFi. But with liquid staking, you can do both by leveraging the tokens, as I've explained earlier. And they go ahead to explain that at the most basic level, liquid staking is the mechanism through which the delegations that are bonded through staking, that 21-day waiting period, through staking are made liquid. So it's essentially a way of securing a chain through staking and still taking advantage of the full potential of your assets. So your assets are still secure, but you're taking advantage of them by using them in a DeFi platform or whatever use cases we shall see in the future. So striking two birds with one stone. And some of you that might not know, the different chains in the Cosmos ecosystem talk to themselves by an innovative technology known as the IBC, or the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. And there's an intent to expand this, and this has been in the works, expanding the interchain, taking IBC beyond Cosmos applications. So guys, some of the bullish implementations of the IBC beyond the Cosmos ecosystem is using it in Ethereum with Ethereum virtual machine compatible chains. But one of the issues that's there is that it's so expensive to create that communication channel because the way the IBC works, unlike bridges that have a central entity, for example, you're moving from Ethereum to Binance, you have to use a bridge with a third-party entity. With the IBC, it passes messages, and that's how these blockchains in Cosmos communicate with themselves. So guys, let me read for you this segment that's a bit complex, but to rather get an understanding of what is going on, because this is quite bullish. Also, there's one more remarkable work to solve the problem. ZK-IBC, the central concept of ZK-IBC is that it constructs a ZK proof of ED25519 signature, validity, and verifies the proof on Ethereum virtual machine chains to reduce that verification cost that we talked about. So both Electron Labs and Polymer Labs are working on ZK-IBC. It's still in the proof of concept phase, and there's some practical issues such as proving cost and the trade-off between verification cost and latency, but it will possibly be a breakthrough in the future. So guys, if you're doing research in the crypto space, you want to look out for some of these concepts that might dominate the very infrastructure of the crypto space. So guys, some of the other implementations of the IBC that's being looked at as this space is being scaled in multiple ways is by implementing languages like Solidity and Rust. Of course, guys, you know, by expanding the language within programmers can use in a particular ecosystem, that pools volume, a much larger volume of these smart people to build applications in languages that they understand. The IBC is so big that some blockchains, it uses something called Tendermint that allows it to communicate, but there's some blockchains that have implemented some kind of use case of this, and one day they might just snap the finger and just implement connectivity with the Cosmos ecosystem, such as Polygon, the Binance ecosystem, Crypto.com. All these chains use some kind of Tendermint to operate the ecosystem, and we've seen that they're able to scale with that technology. But guys, today's video is not to dive into that because we don't want to make it too long, but on a different day, we'll dive into these different technologies and we see how they all tie into each other. Because the Cosmos ecosystem is proof of stake, one of the applications on Cosmos that were able to demonstrate the different applications was the Atom token. Now these guys are were able to implement most of the technology that we've talked about, but then you can go to a nice website called MintScan. Because this is proof of stake, you can view the different proposals that different community members, validators can put out there to suggest different ways the chain can be improved. Now of course you can vote no, you can vote yes, you can vote no with veto, and there's been some controversial proposals out there that almost split up the Cosmos ecosystem, just like proposal 82 here, which was proposed by Zakimania and a couple of other people, which was supposed to introduce some fundamental technology known as the interchain allocator and interchain scheduler. This was extremely controversial, that you have validators and many community members that not only voted no, essentially this won by yes, but it was rejected because some people not only voted no, but majority of the no's were actually no with veto, which is an indication that this proposal is somehow going to negatively affect, or many people don't actually agree with it. So even if it goes through, if a certain percentage of the no's is achieved, then the proposal doesn't go through. That's how controversial it was. As you can see, one of the main validators to vote no with veto was Cosmos Station. One of the biggest validators on this proposal voted no, and their main reasoning for voting no with veto on this proposal was to how unclear it was about the amount of Atom that was going to be issued, and also talking to the amount of inflation, because it's proof of stake, a number of Atom is issued out to all the people that delegate their Atom, but this proposal was unclear to how many Atom, which would most likely result into massive inflation of Atom tokens, which is never good for sustainability of the whole ecosystem, and also who's going to allocate the Atoms to which teams, which projects. So there was a lot of uncertainty. The paper was well written, but not properly explained as to how it's going to use all these technologies that we're proposing to lead us to where we all want to be in a Cosmos future that's desirable to everyone. As you can see, despite the long explanation, some active users out there in the Cosmos ecosystem went out to say that, hey, I don't see any valid reasons in the above tweets for a no with veto. If you simply don't agree as explained above, the vote should be no. For a wallet and Cosmos service provider that should have a more neutral approach to the networks, the use of no with veto is concerning. So of course, that's why it's almost caused a split in the Cosmos ecosystem, because some people strongly agreed with the proposal, some people strongly disagreed, some people were neutral. The way the voting occurred scared a lot of people and brought in some ideas of a little bit of centralization. But hey, I always say, If you don't like how a validator is using your vote, then you can always redelegate and give your tokens to a validator that speaks the same language as you. But obviously this is democracy and not all people will be on the same page, and that's just how it is. One interesting thing, there was a proposal 88 which actually went through, guys. Now in proposal 88 stated as such: increase the community pool tax on the Cosmos hub. So remember, the other proposal too, suggesting Atom 2.0, had also some inflation in the Atom tokens itself, but this particular one passed through. Their suggestion was increasing the tax from 2% to 10%. So anyone that delegates their tokens and receives the proof of stake rewards, their reward is going to be cut by a certain percentage, because before it was a 2% cut, now it's going to be a 10% cut. But surprisingly, this proposal, despite a little controversy with it, it actually passed with a whopping 97.73%, and apparently some of the features have already been implemented. So guys, if you've liked the content in today's video and you've stuck around to the end, I'd like you to hit that like and subscribe button, because it's extremely important for the growth of this channel, and stay tuned for more awesome crypto content. Take care and goodbye, guys.